Today, I want to talk to you about the seven seals and how they represent the chakras in the body. And if you have come from any kind of religion or a background in understanding what maybe Christianity or a religious mindset might have been teaching about end times, I want to teach you a little bit more about that and how the translation actually is happening right now on earth with the seven seals being opened and the seven seals representing your energy system. So stay tuned because you don't want to miss this one. Welcome to the Soul Alignment Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Angie, and I'm inviting you to explore the depths of self-sabotage, limiting mindsets, and the beliefs that hinder our progress in life. Through intuitive messages I receive from my spirit team, I share profound insights to help you live authentically and break free from these limitations. Join me now as we uncover all the keys to living your best life. The first thing I want to talk about is our chakra system and how it relates to our awakening. And I'm going to start from the beginning or from the top, actually, of our chakra system, which normally I would start with our root, with the very lowest chakra that we have in our system. But today I want to start with the crown chakra. The crown chakra begins its process of really transforming and awakening around the age 43. So each of our chakras fully develop at different times in our lives. Every 7 years, our energy system starts to merge and awaken. It's like they are awake, but they really awaken during different periods of time in our life. And at age 43 is when you see a lot of people really coming into their truth. They start to think about their lives. They start to think about what they really want for their life or what they don't want for their life. They might make some career changes. They might make some relationship changes. They might have a midlife crisis. They might start looking at things differently than they had prior to the age 40 or 43 and above. And if you are above this age, you know that this really does happen. And if you're not above this age yet, then just wait. It will. I know that I heard this multiple times from many people before I turned 40, that when you turn 40, things just change. You start not caring about certain things. You start seeing things differently. You start really getting to know yourself more and setting boundaries. And you're not as likely to have to please everybody around you the way you did prior. And I want to share some insight on why that is happening. Because as you are shifting into this next season of your life, your crown chakra is beginning to develop fully. And that awareness that is bringing into your life is going to be what you begin to see happening around you and in you. And so the crown chakra is developed after 40, mostly after 43 and beyond. Now, let's go back to the root. And all the way down to the beginning of your spine where you're sitting is where your root chakra is. The root chakra is starting to develop before you even come into this earth. The root chakra is the foundation of who you are. And so the root chakra is the first thing that develops in your energetic system. In your little tiny baby body, you are starting to open up into your human essence. You are being taught how to be a human. You are learning how to come into the world as a spirit and integrating the spirit into a human body. And so what happens in those very first 7 years of your life, you are being taught how to be a human. And the things that you were taught before the age of 7 begin to develop your belief system. They begin to develop who you are as a human. They begin to develop your fears and your anxieties and your ability to see the world around you. And then that continues as you grow up and are programmed even more based on the other energetic systems that start to develop. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about each of these chakras and what they hold in them, because that is a whole nother thing which I teach in my courses that I often give to clients, where we go deep into these energy systems to see what do we hold in this energy. And so after the age of 7, we move into the sacral chakra. So from 7 to 14 is when we're starting to develop things about our creativity, our relationships. If you think about between 7 to 14, this is usually when particularly girls start to go through puberty. You might start your period. You start to maybe move into the middle school years, where you're trying to find your place with other kids, or the group that you belong, or the sports that you enjoy, whatever it might be. But a lot of it is the creativity season of your life, where you're really starting to try things out and try to fit in. And so it's really a lot of relationship stuff. And once you have gone through this season and you move into the solar plexus, which is after age 14, from age 14 or 15 to about age 21, you are now developing the system in which holds your confidence, the part of you of the I am. So I want you to think about the things that happened in your life before age 14. All the things that happen before age 14 are going to impact your confidence. They're going to impact the decisions that you start to make in this time period. So when you're graduating from high school, when you're making decisions on what to do as you become an adult at 18, everything that you went through prior to that is going to influence your decisions, the relationships that you have developed, the creativity that you have spent time doing. If your life has been all about music, or if your life has all been about sports, or your life has been about some kind of education, or the programming that you've had prior to this time is going to influence the steps that you take forward in your life to explore those things more. This is what usually leads people to go to college for a certain degree, or to start to learn about the things that they think they want to be as an adult or do as a career. And if you think about it, in your younger life, if you've had any type of influence or any pressure in certain areas, that's usually where you end up going in this time period. Then you move into your heart chakra. And the interesting thing about the heart chakra is when we start to open up our spiritual essence. This is the age between 22 to 28, where we are really starting to open ourselves up to love and to looking for connection on a deeper level, wanting to have children maybe. And so it's all about bringing in the frequency of love. But the interesting thing about the heart chakra is where we really truly start to connect with our spiritual self. Prior to the heart chakra, the chakras below the heart are all connected to your human essence, the part of you that develops your human ability, you becoming a human, you being trained to be a human, you living out the culture, the beliefs, the community, everything that has programmed you up until this point is going to be pulled into that heart chakra. And that heart chakra is going to be expanding, and it's going to influence the way that you love and how you receive love and how you are able to love yourself even. And so this is a really important development that starts to happen, and you might start looking for different communities that help you to feel loved, or you start wanting to connect with people that are like-minded in some kind of way. Then as you shift through the heart chakra, you move into the throat chakra. And the throat chakra is always a really interesting area that I see. I have a lot of clients that come to me between this age. And so from about 28 to 35, your throat chakra is going to start to develop. And if you think about everything again that you have had happen in your life prior to this time, it will fully impact the way you use your voice. If you've had a hard time speaking up for yourself, or you were shut down in your early life, or you had a lot of trauma, or maybe bullying, or things that happened in your life where you didn't feel like you could speak up, then this throat chakra could come in with a big block. And you might start to struggle a lot with your throat chakra. I think back to my 20s and the things that I was going through and how I was following the crowd. And that's how I ended up in a Christian college for a while. And around that time, I was exploring, what do I want to do? And I had a hard time speaking up and sharing my voice and asking for things that I needed, or being honest with other people about when I was struggling or not struggling. And a lot was going on in my energy. And this was around the time that I also started developing thyroid problems. Prior to that, I also had stomach issues, and my stomach would hurt a lot. I ended up having to have my gallbladder taken out around age 22. I had endometriosis. I had all these things happening in my body, my physical body. And I didn't understand why it was happening at the time. Now that I have come into my spiritual awakening and I understand that energy impacts our body, I can look back at that time and I can see, well, I had a lot of repressed trauma in my body that started to manifest into these symptoms and sicknesses in my body, which then I carried with me, and it got worse. And I ended up having to have surgeries and having to get medications and all that stuff. And so all the energy that you've been holding in your body might start to manifest into sickness or illness at this time. And you might really be pressured in your life to start using your voice in some way. And it might be really hard. Maybe in your early 20s, you got into a relationship that you don't want to be anymore, or maybe it's not a healthy one, but now using your voice to speak up or leaving something that doesn't serve you anymore is going to be a challenge, because that throat chakra is already having a block within it as it starts to develop, because of the lower chakras and what you have experienced prior to that and how you haven't been able to fully heal those things. And so it just carries on into the next part of your energy field. Then once you move through the throat chakra, then you go into your third eye. So the third eye begins to fully develop around age 36 to about 42. And this, I know, if I look back at my life, this is when I really started to question my faith. This is actually when I had my spiritual awakening, around 35. And I look back at that time and I'm like, oh, that makes sense now why I started wanting to learn more about the Bible. I wanted to learn more about God. I wanted to seek the truth. I started questioning things. I really had a lot of things going through my mind at that time, and I had no idea at the time what was going on spiritually with me. But I know that I started to have a lot more questions about myself, having a lot more questions about the world around me, starting to see things a little bit differently, and realizing that maybe I didn't align or agree with some of the things I had been taught prior. So your third eye really starts to develop around this stage of your life between 36 to 42. And then again, we get back to the crown chakra. And so as you think about everything that you have had happen in your life throughout every single development stage of your energy prior to this point, and you start to work with the crown chakra, if you haven't healed the things in your energy that have happened prior to these times where your third eye and your crown chakra begin to develop and open, some of the experiences that you have might seem a little scary, or you might not know what is happening or how to handle it. I know when I started going through my awakening and having all this awareness come and starting to see the world around me, it was scary. It was difficult for me to trust what was happening, because I had been programmed through fear. I had been programmed through the religious teaching about spirituality, about God, about who I am. And so for me to challenge that belief system within myself, I had to go all the way back down to the root chakra to begin to heal some of the trauma that happened in my life in order to continue my awakening in a healthy way, to be able to open up my intuition and to understand what exactly was going on with this newfound understanding and beliefs that I started to develop. And then when I started communicating with spirits more deeply and more clearly, I had to really work through releasing that lower chakra fear to understand what the spirit realm really was alike. Prior to that, in my teaching, I have been taught that there are evil spirits that could attack me or be around me, which really influenced me a lot. And so I had to work through those spirits to understand there is nothing evil within the Spirit of God. There is nothing that is attempting to harm us. And when we transition back into our spirit self after our human life, there is nothing to fear in that. There's no hell that I'm going to go to. There's not any destruction that I have to worry about after I leave the human life, which is really hard to understand when you haven't healed the prior energy within yourself. So here's where I want to get a little bit deeper into this. If you're still hanging out with me here, this might be a little bit harder to understand if you haven't been working towards some of this understanding. So one of the things that I spent a lot of time doing prior to my awakening was studying the end times in the Bible. And so what I came to learn about was what was going to happen when the end times came. And when I say end times, I mean the ending of one way and the beginning of a new. So we're not actually in a place where the world is going to end and everybody's going to be either dying or being caught up in heaven because Jesus is going to come back and take back his people and all that. That is not happening. What is happening is the collective consciousness is coming into an understanding of what Christ like consciousness is. And that is the awakening of your energy. That is the awakening of the scrolls within your body. As if you know anything about the Bible talks about the 7 scrolls being opened. The 7 scrolls are your chakra system. It is the unfolding, the releasing, the clearing out of a karmic trauma within the 7 seals of your body and your energy system. And that allows us to ascend into higher frequency and consciousness in our third eye and crown chakra. Prior to this, we've had blocks in our energy. And there have been people in the last 20 to 30 to 50 years even who have volunteered to come to Earth to begin the process of opening the seals, first within themselves, and then to help other people begin to open their seals. And that's through healing. That's through releasing the trauma that has come into our body so that we can clear out all the chakras and arise in our frequency to awaken more to what Christ, what Yahweh, what Jesus was teaching at his time. He had been able to shift through those energies in his own body and his own energetic system and awaken to the consciousness of who he was, which was him teaching the people about who they were. This is why when he would talk to other people, he would explain to them that this is your power within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. And then when he would talk about healing other people through energy by placing hands on other people to heal them, which is what Reiki practitioners do now, he was telling them it is through your belief that you heal. It is through your mind that you heal. It is through your power that you heal. So in order to have a clear mind and an understanding of your power, you have to have a clear chakra system. You have to have a clear understanding of who you are in a higher consciousness as your higher self, as a soul being, as a divine frequency, to bring that frequency back down through your crown chakra, through all of your other energy fields, to be able to raise your frequency and consciousness into what Christ was talking about in the Christ consciousness energy that we're moving into now. So when we are opening the scrolls within our body, we are actually opening up a higher frequency for us to shift together. And right now, why this is happening is because there's a collective energy happening all at once, where we're all working together to release that karmic energy, because there's multiple spirits here on earth at this time that are helping to usher in this awakening, to clear out the karmic cycles that have been happening on earth, so new energy can be birthed, which is birthing a new earth, which is birthing a new consciousness within humanity, which will lead to unity and peace on earth as we all work together to do this. So that is why it's so very important for you to understand your own energy, to understand what you're carrying in your energy, and then releasing what no longer is serving you, to awaken more into your true self, to release the veil that has been placed around your energy, your mind, your human essence, that have kept you from being able to see your truth as a divine being, as a powerful being, as a manifesting being. And so, as we continue to awaken as a collective, I want to encourage you to spend time working on your energy. And if you don't know how to do that, then reach out to me. We can work together. I offer one-on-one, or you can join my Chakra Harmony course, which is linked below. It's only $12. It will give you a little bit of insight. It doesn't go all the way into it, because a lot of this is a very personal journey. In order for you to see what is in your personal chakra system, in your energetic system, you are the one that has to go into it. Somebody such as a healer or an energy worker can help you go into it, but you are the one that is going to release it. You're the one that has to understand what is happening to let go of it. So if you're ready to take that step, then reach out to myself or another energy healer that seems trustworthy, and make sure that this energy healer or this healer has done their own work themselves, because you don't want to combine two energies together that have not healed. This is why it's so important that a healer first heals themselves before they start to heal others, or trying to help others to heal themselves, really. No healer is actually going to heal another human. They are simply providing the energy and the light and the frequency for them to use to heal themselves. So as we continue this collective awakening and consciousness, and we clear out all this karmic energy and trauma and rise into another frequency, keep this in mind. And don't take this as you've done anything wrong, or you should be in shame or fear or anything like that. Just look at it as an awakening. Look at it as a clearing. Look at it as you're going to the pool and there are some things that you need to clear out of the pool before you start to swim in it. The energy of the water has to be cleared out, and our body is made up of about 80% water. So as we clear out the water in our body, we flow more easily. So I hope this helped you today as you continue to work on your own energetic system and understanding how powerful you truly are. And again, reach out if you would like support. I wish you all the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.